Shalom, shalom. First, I like all praises and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shem Harakak Wadash Mamoth. Double honors to the elders and apostles, GMS, and honors to the elder of the Lanston Kepahar 1. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters. That's preaching the truth and sincerity. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. God. So, I brought this up because, as we all know, and everybody knows, that America was built on lies and robbery and trickery and deception. And it's always an issue with the nation. It's always going to be an issue with a nation who establish themselves off of wickedness. Because then, like they like to say, what goes around comes around, which is true to an extent. But the Lord said that, but the Lord prophesied and said, hey, woe to the bloody city that is full of lies and robbery. The noise of verse 2, the noise of the whip, the noise of rattling of the wheels, and the prancing horses, and the jumping of chariots. The horsemen lift up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses. There is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. God. So that's one of the things that's gonna happen to America. It's gonna be a great judgment for them. So it ain't nothing more to like, because they built the city off of bloodshed and lies and robbery and killing and murder. And it says, because of the multitude of whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that settled nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. And that's what America did. They got every nation on the planet to sup with them, do business with them, and guess what America did? America ended up deceiving them and tricking them, and pulled the sleight of hand. So, in looking at the track record of how America tends to do dealings with just to do dealings and diplomatic affairs, and I mean, what else can you expect? You know, you play with a serpent. Don't be surprised when you get bit. And it's getting so far. It's getting so far gone. It's getting so far gone that even their own citizens, American citizens, are starting to turn to hate the whore. And they're starting to hate America. And once upon a time, it was never like that. You know, it was always, all the people are always for the nation. It used to be like that, but now, because of how much lies and how much distrust that every American has in their government, not every American, but most Americans have in their government, now the truth is being brought out. People are starting to see, like, the sleight of hand trick that America did with Trump releasing certain things, like files and stuff, which once upon a time it was all conspiracy, hearsay, conspiracy. But now the American people are starting to see that it's no longer conspiracy and it's actually real. And that's what's getting a lot of people riled up, in a sense, because people are starting to see that the American government isn't as truthful as everybody thinks. going back to the lies and the deception. Verse 5, behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. So he's going to put America so far low that the whole, like every other nation on the globe, is going to see the filthiness of America. And the Lord is slowly starting to do that right now. It's in the sight of these other nations, because once upon a time it used to be America pointing at these other nations, calling them filthy and dirty and scary, you know. But now all these other nations are starting to look at America like that. And now these other nations are starting to build themselves up financially, while we're buying from other nations. The American government, or like even the American economy, is buying from other nations and not producing, no manufacturing here. And then that's what you see with all the trade wars and stuff like that. All of that is just a tactic to not only weaken someone's economy, but to I guess you would say like with a dog. You'll take a dog, if they like poop on the ground or something, or they pee on the ground, you'll snuff their face into the ground where they pooped or peed at. It's the same way with the trade wars, man. With America trying to put on China and these other nations, Canada. And then still, the American government and the American people who still don't have trust in it because of the lies and the robbery. And that's the issue with it. And that's why the Lord is going to destroy this place. Thus saith the Lord. Verse 6, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. So the Lord is going to do that. Right? Because once upon a time, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we were set as gazing stocks among the world during the slave trade, and when we were slaves. But now the Lord is going to do that to America, this bloody city that was built on lies, robbery, mischief, the whole nine, man. He said abominable filth on them. Let me go ahead and grab this next one. Where is it at? I think it's right here. Isaiah 14:4, that verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, from thy hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. And that's what the Lord is going to do for us, his elect and his 1/3. Men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh and his son Yahushua. And that's who is predestined for. Not for the whole world. And of course, it's not according to color, but it is according to bloodline. That's why we always say to the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We're not crayon prophets. We're faith-based. Faith-based prophets. Isaiah 14:3 again, and it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord, in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage wherein thou wert made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. And that's what they're going to say. Like, okay, that's what we were just reading in Nahum. The Lord said he's going to make them set up as a gazing stock, right? They're going to look at America, and they're going to be in awe. You know, said like, how is this great nation that had the tariffs in the palm of their hand to weaken an economy and weaken a nation so much that this nation also has been weakening itself. And it says, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. And they're going to say that. How was it done? It's going to be done through the Lord, Yahweh, and His Son, Yahweh Shai. The Lord, that's who's doing it. It's not by the power of these nations. The Lord is using these nations to do this. It's just the same way that the Lord used Esau, Amalek, the chief house of Edom and the Edomites to put us into slavery. The same exact way. Because we didn't listen to the Lord. The children of Israel, we didn't listen to the Lord. And guess what? The Lord said what? He had something for us. We served our time, that jail sentence. And now the tables are turning where they have to serve their sentence as well. And this is where you see the falling of that, the starting of that sentence. The falling of America is the starting of the sentence of judgment for Esau, Edom. Verse 5, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. So the Lord is going to break that rulership, that hegemony. He's going to break all of that up. It says, verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, and he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Come on, man. And so that's what he did, man. He ruled the nations in wrath and persecuted, and nobody could stop it. Nobody could stop him for a very long time. And with the best military armed forces on the planet. But now everything is going nuclear. Everything is going airborne. He said what? The Lord said what? My sword will be bathed in heaven. So the Lord is making these, and He's making these missiles. It's going to be bathed in heaven, man. The Lord, this is the Lord's doing. So it's no longer going to be a battle of foot troops or special forces. Nah, man. Because the truth man told, no one can compete with that. Not in the earth. Maybe Russia, but with the KGB. But or maybe even maybe they, but that's neither here nor there. But the Lord said He's going to break that. He's going to break that rulership. Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. That's what they're going to do. They're going to break forth into singing. Because then that's when the rulership of the Lord is going to come through. It's going to come through. It's going to be made. It's going to be published throughout all the four hemispheres of the earth. And they're going to see Allah Shaja. They're going to see the power of the Most High, Yahweh, and His Son, Yahweh Shai. So, but I wanted to grab that. I'm finna go have camp, but I hope this was edifying and shalom.